Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is part 5, the finale of my Japan 2023 vlog series. My hard drive crashed like a rookie driver in an F1 car, but after months of recovering files, I'm finally back with the last leg of the trip spent in Tokyo. Kicking things off at the Gundam Base in Yokohama. While this Gundam Base in Yokohama is no longer there as of early 2024, I'm just really glad that I got a chance to visit before it closed down. Our first stop was the Gundam Cafe, where we had a quick bite to eat. The food was okay, nothing memorable as you'd expect from an anime-themed cafe. With that said, let's just pretend this was what the crew aboard the White Base ate for total immersion. Our next stop was the museum. It featured more than just tidbits about the Gundam itself. There's a breakdown of how it all came to fruition, design sketches, mechanical details, and a bunch of tiny models. It's basically a shrine to obsessive detail, and honestly, I can respect that. Visiting this Gundam base was a bit like meeting a childhood hero, only this one is 60 feet tall and powered by servos. Also, it doesn't carry any weapons of mass destruction, nor is it piloted by an angsty and confused 15-year-old. Unfortunately, the merch I wanted was completely sold out. Gundam fans don't mess around. It's like Black Friday every time you walk into a store, except instead of TVs, it's tiny plastic pieces that you have to put together. Despite that, it was still pretty amazing being here and getting to see this in person. Later on that same evening, I went to the Chainsaw Man Cafe in Shibuya by myself, mainly because I don't have any friends, but also because I really wanted the exclusive cafe merch. So if you've never been to an anime or themed cafe in Japan before, the way they get you to spend money is by ordering specific foods or drinks where a special cafe-only item is given to you, like a coaster. Usually it's only one per reserved seating per visit. I initially reserved a spot for 2 people, but my +1 bailed on me. Apparently he was feeling sick or whatever. More for me, I guess. And here are the items that I ended up getting. Most of these were blind pulls, so it's just a chance that you could get your favorite character, but that's all part of the fun. Okay, I know this is like the 3rd anime themed cafe I've shown in this video, and we're not even 5 minutes in. I promise I actually had healthy grown-up food. But this was probably my 3rd or 4th visit to a Pokémon cafe. However, it was my first time at this location, the Chuo location in Tokyo. I think the main difference between the Ikebukuro location and the one here in Chuo City is the seasonal menu. This one is typically harder to get into because it's not as big as the Ikebukuro location. I ended up with the perfect seat in front of Dancing Pikachu in his adorable chef outfit. As a lifelong Pokemon fan since the 90s, my inner child was just beyond elated with this. This was actually more food than we had expected, and thankfully, a lot of it was just as tasty as it was cute, not just Pokemon branded filler. My compliments to the chef for this 5-star dining experience, and to Nintendo for remembering that fans like their meals as thoughtful as their games. And yes, it wouldn't be a themed cafe experience without pulling an exclusive character coaster to fuel my growing collection. To the west of Shinjuku is Nakano, the most densely populated city in Japan. This side of town gives off an old Showa-era feel and has some alleyways that are just great for street photography. This shopping district houses over 300 shops, so there's bound to be something for everyone here. While Nakano Broadway is now synonymous with anime, manga, and hard-to-find figures or figurines, its appeal goes far beyond just otaku culture. The mall is also home to a fascinating array of specialty shops catering to niche interests. For example, you'll find stores selling vintage watches that are highly sought after by collectors, rare coins that showcase Japan's history, and even retro cameras that film photography enthusiasts obsess over. Nakano Broadway is like Disneyland, but for otaku, in the sense that a lot of things are collectible and expensive. Compared to Akiba's flashy neon chaos, Nakano has a scrappy indie vibe. It's less about showmanship and more about the hunt. When you find your grail item, whether it be a rare figure, first edition manga, or that Gundam kit you didn't know existed, you have to buy it. Yes, your wallet will absolutely take a hit, but regret is way worse than a credit card debt, am I right? Full disclosure though, I'm not a fiduciary, so any terrible financial decisions are on you. This next spot has been covered extensively by various vloggers over the years. The hotel we stayed at wasn't too far from the famous, or infamous, Akiba vending machines where you can buy not just regular snacks, but the stories that come with it. Back in 2016, when my Japanese was less jozu, I didn't appreciate the oddity of it. However, fast forward to today, I'm fully embracing the chaos because it's peak Akiba energy. Is it worth 500 yen per box though? Maybe not, but will you regret the experience? Also, maybe not. It's one of those only in Japan things that makes for great conversation starter, or at least an odd souvenir. Akiba really leans into the weird and wonderful, and these vending machines are proof. On a side note, I wish I knew how they sourced these stories. Are they random posts from Twitter, 2chan? Something to think about. Anyway, I ended up buying 2 of these boxes, and the snacks that came with it weren't all that bad either. Pour one out for my guy here though, he couldn't perform when it mattered. R.I.P. I've been meaning to stop by this shrine ever since I heard about it several years ago. But because of its hidden location, it's easy to forget. It slipped my mind each time I came to Akiba during past trips, but for this one, I was pretty determined to finally cross this off. The origin of this shrine isn't entirely clear. According to some research, it was built sometime between 150 to 400 years ago. but the one consensus seems to be that it was reconstructed and placed in its current location here in Akiba sometime in the 1950s due to damage from World War II air raids. It's a very narrow alleyway, probably about 3 feet in width. Finding small hidden shrines like this isn't uncommon in Japan, and as with any site like this, whether it be here or in other countries, be mindful and respect the space. Okay, so this is the last anime cafe I'll be going to for this trip. Fun fact about me, I used to be really into this series and attended several of their live concerts in Japan and in the US. The concept of 2D idols started decades ago with Macross, but gained traction in the late 2000s with franchises from The Idolmaster, Wake Up Girls, and Love Live, which debuted in 2010 and has since exploded into a multimedia empire. Love Live fans are known for their dedication, with some people dropping entire paychecks on limited edition merch. It's not just a hobby, it's definitely a lifestyle and possibly a financial crisis waiting to happen. The real stars of these concerts are the voice actors who also perform as them on stage. They sing, dance, and somehow make it look effortless while wearing costumes that could double as a wedding cake. Love Live will always have a special place in my heart since it's what got me into 2D idols, and because of it, I've met amazing people who I still keep in touch with to this day. I made my way to Shibuya Sky just before sunset for the kind of view that makes you feel like you're the protagonist in a dramatic anime opening. Sprawling cityscapes, golden hour lighting, and on a clear day, postcard perfect view of Mount Fuji. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, it was until I saw this line for the Instagram corner. Shibuya Sky is the kind of place where you go to feel on top of the world, literally. At 230 meters above ground, you've got a 360-degree view of Tokyo stretching out to infinity, while Mount Fuji lingers on the horizon. A distant yet iconic reminder of Japan's natural beauty among the concrete metropolis. If you're planning a visit, book your tickets in advance. It's 2,000 yen for entry, which is cheaper than most amusement parks and arguably more breathtaking. Just don't forget to bring a jacket during colder months and charge your phone because you'll need every last percentage of battery life between the skyline, Mount Fuji, and the obligatory selfies. Even with the crowds, you can't beat watching the city light up as the sun sets. My advice? Get there early and bring patience. Even if you can't snag that corner photo, don't sweat it. Tokyo's skyline looks good from any angle. By this time, we were supposed to be back in the US, but we ended up missing our flight due to an expensive misunderstanding with a train station agent who thought I was asking for the next train because she kept repeating the word onaji, which means same in Japanese, but we were actually requesting the express train. I'm not really quite sure or remember what exactly I said for her to think I wanted the same regular train, but having no other option, we ended up booking a hotel stay right by the airport and made the best of the situation by visiting Old Town Narita. Even though Narita is mostly known for its airport, there's so much more here. Downtown Narita's Omotesando feels like a time capsule with Edo period buildings, local shops, and restaurants. Narita's history as a pilgrimage town spans over 1,000 years, thanks to the Narita-san Shinshoji temple up ahead. The vibe here is nothing like Tokyo. It's peaceful, slow, and even the air smells nostalgic. Narita is also famous for its grilled eel, and there's definitely a lot of street food vendors that sell it, like this place. Highly recommend trying it. Narita Shinoji is a massive Buddhist temple complex that dates back to the year 940. It was originally built to honor Fudo Myo, the god of fire and wisdom. This place has been a major pilgrimage site for centuries, and you can feel its history. The complex is huge, with multiple halls, a 3-story pagoda, and even a beautiful park area that's perfect for a stroll. If you're lucky enough to be here during the New Year's season, it's one of the busiest pilgrimage sites in Japan, with millions of visitors paying their respects. But even on a regular day, the atmosphere is calming, like on the day of our visit, giving you respite from the faster pace of Tokyo. And trust me, after a long travel day, this serene setting is exactly what we needed. In the end, our unplanned detour to Narita turned out to be one of the highlights of the trip. It's funny how missing a flight can lead you to something way more memorable than expected. While Narita may not have been on our itinerary, it has now made it on my list of places to come back to. So if you ever find yourself with a few hours to spare, head to downtown Narita instead. You might just discover your own unplanned adventure. That wraps up our Japan winter adventure. A huge thank you to everyone who's been following along through the first 4 vlogs of this 5-part series. Your support has meant the world, and I'm glad you joined me on this unexpected journey, starting from Sapporo to Hiroshima to Takayama, Tokyo, and beyond. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And as always, feel free to drop a comment below with your favorite part of the series or any questions about the trip. Until next time, happy travels!